Yeah, just guys, seriously, let's have fun and let's finish this thing. Let's make another one. This is really great. It's much more, maybe not fascinating, maybe not exciting, but something new. Forget about the rewards. As a matter of fact, at least in my part, I don't really care about the rewards. I don't really care about the status. I don't really care about being in the Hall of Fame or anything. I'm just doing it because it's fun, and we all have our jobs. We all have our lives to live, and if we can put something beautiful, something good into it, all the better. We got enough problems already, and yeah, it's just one way of getting rid of your problem. None of us are saints, no one's insane, and everyone's equally good. It's just that we're much better. We can see, we have this vision. We can feel what other players are gonna do, and you're gonna have to outsmart us. Don't beat the wall with your head. Don't think it's just 1 or 0. You know, computer language. You gotta think. You gotta adapt. You gotta outthink us. And yeah, good luck with that.
Alright, 2 elephants have been bribed already.
That was a huge move there by Immaculate, but he gets the cap stack and, kills a heap of units.
This is the kind of fight that I was expecting at this level.
Lots of bribes going down right now, but the scouts going crazy.
Perfect timing. That's the perfect time. These guys are going to take the Lakota city. Look at that. Oh my god, Sims just lost his capital. I cannot believe it. Alright, yeah, are you seeing this? Are you seeing this? What's happening here? It's a triple. They are going to triple Dragoneo. Dragoneo has no clue. Dragoneo's capital is going down, no doubt about it. Ikron has got all his militia right there.
I'm a huge fan of Young One.
Young One came with 3 spies. That's enough to change the flow of the game.
Would you say EL is more of a democracy or dictatorship?
It's either I play or I don't play. I've been playing pretty good lately, so watch out there.
Oh my god, just look at Zen Mechanics today. He just went for Science 5. Oh, and TNT just decided, F my city, I'm gonna help that. This is a slap on the face for anybody who said the game was over. That was the best comeback ever in the history of Rise of Nations.
It was neck and neck, man. It could have went either way. Honestly, it was really close.
Hello guys, what's up? It's Kron here, and with me is a man who needs no introduction, Jatin.
Hey guys, hey everyone, welcome to the stream.
Welcome guys, and thanks for tuning in. For anyone who isn't aware, this is the second cast for today. Earlier, we're not going to spoil any of the results, but there was a cast with myself and Old Dirty H, who was a guest caster who did a great job, and we casted the games for group number 2. And in this case, Jatin's kindly woken up very early where he is in Florida, so that we can get straight into some really juicy qualifier games in Group A, which are the remaining games from basically where we left off. So
That's right. We had some very juicy games last week. Not last week, the first week. Last week we did not have any streams, and we are planning to finish this qualifier this week. I'm expecting to see some AZ versus PLA level games. Now that's the new benchmark for being an awesome game.
That was an epic game, I'm not going to lie. I was just thankful that I played it as part of it, but I've never been in a game that went so back and forth so many times. And hopefully that's just the first of many classics I think that this tournament's going to bring. And speaking of classics though, I think we are set up for a potential classic here with these matches coming up. So as part of Group A, essentially for those guys who might need a reminder, there were 4 teams in the group. AZ Hunters, PLA KungFu, PN7 and AS. And so basically the way it stood at the moment, AZ Hunters were lucky enough to win twice. They've already qualified for the round of 16. So where it's at now is we're still waiting on basically the first match will be AS versus PN7 to see who can basically win this match. The loser unfortunately will be out of the tournament because that would mean they've lost twice. So it's a high stakes game, best of 1. The winner basically, you need to win to stay alive.
Yeah, and also we cannot show you the brackets for the Group 2 right now. If you have not watched the other bracket, other game that was cast by Old and Kron, please go back, watch that, and we'll tell you when we are going to discuss the results for that so that you can avoid any spoilers.
Yeah, we don't want to spoil anyone who's just given it so close to when we broadcast it. But you can see on the screen right now too, I'm just showing the players in each of the rosters for PN7 versus AS Phoenix. Essentially, you can just see on the left there, so PN7, you got Quantum Floyd, Nude Pajama, aka Drads, for anyone who knows him. You've got PN7 Singh, aka Predator is his former name. You've got Nomadium, and you've got Agent Krish. Whereas for AS Phoenix, you've got Duzzles, Spyrodon, Eat the Pair, and Joven for the 4th player. What's your thoughts before we head into the match on who do you think's in better form coming into this?
And the AS team has always been, I think they have always performed very good. Duzzles and Spyrodon, if I'm not wrong, they were in the top AS team last year as well. Eat the Pair is a new joiner, and Joven was in the AS Underground last year, but he has been performing really well. I just played a game yesterday with him, and I don't think he is going to let his team down. All of these players are about the same level. On the other side, PN7, which was formed about at the last minute. These are all mercenary players who usually don't play in clan. Apart from Singh, Predator here has always been a clan. But others, I don't see them in a clan often, and they are playing together. So I feel the teamwork is going to be much better towards AS since these guys have always been a clan. But I don't think we can just ignore how good Quantum Floyd, Threads, no matter Agent Krish, Predator are. These guys have been playing since a long time. I think these guys have been in Rise of Nations longer than I have been.
Yeah, no, exactly right. They've all been around for a long time now. They're very experienced. It's just going to come down to whether they can gel as a team, because I feel like, like you said, AS, that's kind of their signature trademark, is that they're a clan that's very close. They practice together a lot, and so naturally I think they have the advantage when it comes to that teamwork side of it. So it's going to be good. And then finally the map is going to be, because it's the second round, it will be on Old World. So any tips on what nations you think these guys should be picking before we get started?
Man, overall, it's a very tricky map because you could end up very close to somebody, or you could end up being separated by rivers and woods. So, I don't even think you can prepare for aggression or boom in this game unless you actually see the positioning of your opponents. This is so different from Amazon. Amazon is mostly booming because you are almost always going to be separated by rivers, and Sahara where you're always going to be rushing because the map is so open. So this is a tricky map, and going for any specific strategy before it's going to be a gamble.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, exactly right. And I don't think, yeah, that's any nation could work. Turks could be a genius masterstroke, or it could be the worst nation pick of all time, depending on where you spawn. So, yeah, we'll have to analyze what nations they've ended up going with as soon as we start. So, I've got the game open now. Are you ready to jump in?
Yes, I am ready.
Alrighty, let's flick across. Alright, guys.
And we have hit the 10 viewer mark, so we are officially ready.
Yes, we weren't lying when we said that. So thank you guys for tuning in. And please,
Yes.
before we do start, please just copy paste the YouTube link, spam it to a few of your mates in Steam friends, and we'll get this up to 15 or 20. We'll see how we go. And make sure you tell us what you think on the chat too. We'll be very interactive. All right, guys. So I'm going to start in 3, 2, 1.
Let's go.
Alrighty. So let's have a quick look at where the guys are based. Looks like we've got the AS guys have spawned at the top of the map here. And we'll just have a quick look. There's 2 large rivers, but they're mostly at the very top half and the bottom end of it as well. So a big open space in the middle of the map here. And then
there's also a lot of obstructions in the middle of the map. There's 2 giant mountains and 2 big patches of wood.
Yeah, very true. And I mean, whoever can secure that big mountain, it looks like Spyrodon actually has a really favorable spawn. That's got to be at least 12 miners, right? For that. that's
I don't think that's possible. I don't think that's possible. But Spyrodon, I want to say that he doesn't have very good wood here.
That's a good point. Yeah, exactly. It's what he's rich in metal, but he's not rich in wood at the moment.
And same for Eat the Pier. Maybe Eat the Pier will get that patch right next to him. It's hard to say at this point.
Yeah, possibly might get the very edge of it. And then if we look at the guys at the bottom here, the way this is lining up, it is looking like there is a fair bit of distance between the 2 teams. Probably the closest is perhaps Krish to Spyrodon, and they're not really that close, to be honest. So should allow for a fairly slow and steady start to the game.
Yeah, and the problem is if you look at the nations, this lineup by AS, that's a clear rush set of nations.
Yeah, look, let's have a look. So we've got basically tier 1, they've gone Turks, then British, then French for tier 1, 2, 3. Whereas if you look at PN7, they've gone for Germans, Inca, and Indians. Very much, the opposite of a rush kind of pick from them. Very much long-term boom. I've seen Quantum play as Inca before, and he's always done quite well. So I think.
Wait, Quantum is Germans.
Oh, he's actually gone as Germans. Okay, well in that case, he hasn't picked his specialty nation. What's going on, guys?
and luckily, Krish here has got 2 big, or actually even 3 mountains in his territory already. So he's going to be set for the whole game. I think the way map is laid out, it looks like the PN7 is in a slight advantage just because they've got the distance from AS. So because Turks, while Turks are very good at attacking early, if Turks have to delay their attack, then nations like Inca, Germans can easily beat them. I think Indians, even though they are tier 3 nations, they can easily beat Turks if they just get some time.
Yeah, I agree. And just to clarify too, you will notice that Levenchik is actually playing in this game for PN7. So in case you're wondering why he's playing for PN7, essentially what happened was, despite the team's best efforts, they weren't able to schedule with their proper lineup for whatever reason. I believe work commitments got in the way, and so they either had to play with AI or potentially play with Levenchik. And thankfully, the AS guys were understanding of that, and we approved it as an exception. So Levenchik is basically playing as a super sub here for the PN7 guys. Yeah,
hopefully we don't have to do that anytime in the round of 16 or round of 8. But for the qualifier, since we want to wrap it up quickly, and it's the first time, so it's fine. Levenchik doesn't mean Levenchik is a part of PN7. He's just a substitute for one game. And if you want to substitute, if it comes to that you definitely, absolutely cannot play your game unless there's a substitute, then you can ask us. And if the substitute player is close to the level of one of the players who's not playing, then we'll allow.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, it's a last resort, but obviously we'd prefer to see games played than not. And yeah, I'd just like to say thanks again to AS for agreeing to let the PN7 guys continue with Levenchik, and to Levenchik, of course, himself for offering his services. I hope he charged a very high fee for...
Yes, free agents are no joke, man. They are expensive.
They are indeed. So, as this game starts, I think the biggest things that I'm going to be watching for, I guess, is... Well, I mean, let's be honest here. It's going to come down to what Turks do, like in any game, whether it's Turks. Especially if Duzzles goes for a hyper-aggressive build, such as, going for build 2 before he ages, or, whether he goes for a longer-term game and they just try and do a more boom and, pressure boom type strategy.
Yeah, and you know what? Having Turks in your opponents is actually also nerve-wracking for you because you don't know where they're going to hit from. So you need to be... I think the only way you can counter Turks is to be aggressive yourself, so that you force the players to just show their cards early in the game. And I feel if Duzzles and either pair, if they are lucky and not lucky, if they plan this properly, I think they can be closer to the Inca guy, and Inca is easily the best nation to rush because it takes them some time to start getting that boom going.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, they need to try and make sure that at the very least they can deny Inca from getting Colossus if it does get to that stage, because we've seen examples in the past where just once Inca can get Colossus up and running with a big mountain like they do have in this map, it can be pretty hard to stop.
Oh yeah. Let's see. So somehow I want to point this out because I think unanimously we all can agree that Germans are faster than Turks. No doubt about that. But what I'm seeing here is that Duzzles is doing much better. He already has his second city placed. Meanwhile, Quantum Floyd is just... Duzzles is already going for Civic, while Quantum Floyd is far away from that.
And you can see that Quantum Floyd started a lot earlier than the rest of the players too. He had about a 10-second advantage in getting his build down. So I'm assuming there was some scouting error, or there was some idle time that should not have been. I see the ruins are similar, so that should not be the case. Yeah, ruins do appear to be pretty similar here. So yeah, that's perhaps just a great play by Duzzles. Obviously the Turk citizens has an effect, but like you said, I am still mildly surprised that Germans are a little bit delayed in comparison. You can see that Quantum's starting to get his Civic as well. And we're going to start to see, I guess, how these guys line up with their second cities.
Oh man, check this out. So I think they're doing what I suspected. Red is also going for Red is also going for Civic, and I think he might go join Blue.
Yeah, it does look like he's got his two citizens walking towards that direction. And that's going to be pretty close to Inca.
I think that's all the distance you need to mess up the Inca game. Oh man, I feel so bad. I hope Agent Krish realizes that they're trying to close in on him, and I don't know, whatever he can do, just not build towards them.
Yeah, exactly. I think sometimes it's easy for players just to get into the habit of building, to try and capture as much territory as possible. But the only exception to that, I would say, is cases like this where you've got a Turk opponent really close, and he can tell that Turk's city is just there. In which case, it's probably better off that as long as he has enough to get his mountains and get his gold income to potentially build his second city back and just build it in a safe location to create a bit of a buffer zone between his capital and the opponents.
Yeah, you're right. Man, to be honest, British and Turks, that's a very strong combo. I have feelings it's going to be super hard to beat that. You might even have to pull in all of your militia initially to stop that momentum. But if you once stop the momentum, then Inca and Indians, I think they can take over later on.
Yeah, I think so too. It's going to come down to offense versus defense. How hard did the AS guys go here, and whether Inca can get their mines basically up and running, get mill 2, and start to spam those heavy cavalry, because I feel like there's a certain point that they kind of need to tip over, and if they can do that, they should be in a good position basically as the game goes on from there, if they're not dead.
That's right. Also, I want to say that Quantum Floyd has some big responsibility on his shoulders, since he's the tier 1 guy and he's against the tier 3 guy. He might want to pressure here early. Also, tier 3 guy Spiridon, so of course he's not going to be any pushover.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, Spiridon, a very experienced player, and should be ready to counter Germans if he does go aggressive quite quickly. But at the same time, like you said, there is a need to at least be pressing the issue as Germans here. It is a lot of pressure to be the tier 1 guy, but you can tell that the Turk player is tier 1 for the AS team is definitely going to be pressing the issue. That's naturally what Turks do, is scare the living crap out of any opponent that's nearby. So
that's right, man. That is. Oh, and I also see Duzzles here is doing very good. He is going for offense. He's going to raid Krish. And Krish and Levenchik, both of them ended up being very close to the AS guys. And I am not sure if that should have happened. But whatever the case be, let's see how PN7 is going to defend this. Although I want to mention that PN7 has got the best non-knowledge rares possible in this game. They have got sugar, they have got diamonds, silver, and salt. I think that's a very good recipe for defending a rush.
Yeah, those are some really handy rares to have. And I agree. The fact that they've got salt, they should be able to spam a lot more units. The gems will really help with border push. The only issue is there's not much border to push, given that they're so close to each other. Basically, the Turks will be able to siege from within their territory, which makes it tricky. But at the same time, yeah, they need to come in with a clear strategy here, which is just get to age 2, set a good defense, get militia, get towers, maybe even get attrition as well, and just survive this first initial phase of the game.
Yep, and look at that. Duzzles is doing a great job with the raids. Man, nice raids here. Inca they're very prone to getting slowed down early in the game, just because they have no advantage at all. And Turks, who are already faster than normal, if they get even a slight boost over, slight edge over their opponents, that's all they need to win the game.
Yeah, I agree. And speaking of Turks, just having a look at Turk tech tree at the moment. So Duzzles has gone for age 2 without going mill 2 first. So this isn't the most hyper aggressive build order I've seen. You can go for a faster rush than that, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised to see him going for mill 2 fairly quickly and getting a couple of siege out, at the very least, to put some pressure on the Inca player. Yeah,
and I also want to point out that Duzzles is way ahead of Agent Chris here. Agent Chris needs to hurry up. Luckily, he has sugar and silver, so he will not be delayed by much.
Yeah, I think... Oh, sorry, you go.
Oh no, I see towers being put by Agent Krish. It's just unfortunate that towers don't work that well against Turks.
Yeah, and I do think his tower placement, it's not too bad, but it could be better, especially against Turks in particular. Just putting it a little bit further back, so that it just makes Turks have to walk that little bit further to try and get to it. Because it's still there's still a certain range or radius where it can help you prevent them capturing your city, but also not be so close that Turks can still easily snipe it from
you are right,
not too far away.
The senators actually play a big role in this, because if both the players get their senators and if they both simultaneously start bribing, then they can cause some disturbance in the opponent's army, and that's very useful here.
Yeah, I can see that Quantum Floyd's gone for Mill 2 really early on. I'm just not sure. I'm waiting for him to put down some siege somewhere or go for some heavy cavalry, but can't see it just yet. So I'm not sure if that was part of his plan.
Yeah, you're right. I see Siege Factory coming at 12 minutes 1 seconds.
Yep.
And Spiridon is going to scout that. Yes, Spiridon just found that.
Yeah, that is a good scout. And one thing I would say as well, I feel like when it comes to siege workshops, generally speaking, because they're so slow, it's better to perhaps build it a little bit closer to the front lines here.
Yeah, so I think there are two different kind of strategies with respect to siege workshops. One that you said, that you build it closer to your opponent so you can start sieging as soon as possible. There's another school of thought that I have seen some players going for, that you build it so far behind that your opponent doesn't even see it. So in one case, you are making it obvious that you're going to attack, but you're going to be doing it as fast as possible. In other case, you don't show your cards until you are at their city with their sieges.
That's actually not bad. And I mean, the other advantage is it's blocking the path to his city, so it probably also helps him out later on if he ever needed to defend there.
You're right about that as well.
Oh, and this is showtime. Showtime, baby. It's got... There's a couple of Turk catapults coming, and I wonder if he's going to put down another one. Oh, yep, there's another 2 coming on the way. So this was very predictable, but at the same time, very, very scary.
Oh, and Levanchik is protecting his own city. I see he's putting lookouts and towers behind it. I don't see many units, man. I don't see many units from PN7. That's not looking good. The worst part is the Republic senator from Krish is not ready, so he is losing out on all the bonus. And Levanchik's senator is coming, but I just don't think that there'll be enough time to hold this city. I think this city will be taken instantly.
Yeah, I can't see them holding this off. It's just such a predictable yet specialized rush, and they've both gone despot as well. They're going to need militia at the very least. The citizens are coming, but there's not that many close by. Temple's about to go up though, so that temple will help a lot. Oh, he has converted to militia though before the temple finished. So he has got the temple up, so that survives.
Oh, that's right. And Levanchik did bribe one unit, but he lost his senator, so he just ended up giving 100 wealth to his opponent.
Oh, he does get the longbowman. Yeah, like you said, 100 wealth though. But at least, he did get something for his efforts. But
so to be honest, I think PN7 is holding much better than I expected. Oh, by the way, Quantum is coming over here.
Yeah, if they can hold off until Quantum comes just to help save the day a bit, they could potentially, hold the Turk and Brit player. But
I hope that.
Nice.
So let's see what's Green doing. I see that Spiridon has siege, and Spiridon, I mean, he has siege workshop, not siege exactly. So for red to come over here, it's fine. Oh no! Wait! Did you see this? Quantum came here, and then Levanchik just asked him not to come. That is so bad.
Oh,
That's like that situation where you have too much pride to ask for help.
Oh yeah, we got this, guys, we got this. And meanwhile, they're about to die.
And they just lost the city. Come on, man, what the hell? And I also blame Quantum Floyd a bit, because if he had come all this way, then just continue, man.
Yeah, I'm just at just to time check. I'm at 18 seconds.
Yes, I'm around that time.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, they have lost the city after all, and it does look like these units aren't going to survive much longer. And who took the city? It was the Turkish player, so that's going to assimilate super fast. It's already half Turkish as we speak, and that makes it even harder to retake it. If he can come in there and repair it, or just build additional racks, build towers, that piece of real estate is well and truly theirs.
And just pointing out here, Spiridon, look at what Spiridon's doing.
Spiridon is bringing his units across, and he's French, of course, and playing as senator, but he does have a supply wagon, so he can get that healing as long as he doesn't lose it.
Oh, yeah, this is Oh man, I think Quantum is going to regret that, but it's fine.
Yeah, that was very misguided. Like you said, bit too much pride there from Krish, I think, or whoever it was, saying go back.
It was Levanchik. He said, "Don't come." Yeah, this could have been clearly averted. They could have held Cajamarca, the city, and things would have been very different if Quantum Floyd had just ignored all the warnings and just continued.
Yeah, I agree. It does look like he will get this city though. Quantum does have Orleans pretty much wrapped up here.
You're right. Yeah, he does have that, and
he's got a great eco, man. Look at German's eco.
Oh yeah. So this is the only positive thing about PN7 right now, that they've got. Oh, but other side. Check the other side, man.
Oh no, this is not good. This is really not good for the PN7 guys. They need to hold this cap somehow, but they don't have the units. Levanchik does have a few units here, but no, the cap has gone down. Plus 500 to Duzzles there. And Duzzles has really got quite the nice army, and good that they captured it with the Turkish player for them too. It's going to
Yeah, that's right. And British and Turks, I've said that multiple times, it's just a very deadly combo, because one gives you insane siege and one gives you insane archers.
Yeah, that's so true. And they both went despot, so they came in obviously with a strategy and have just executed it perfectly here. Perhaps, I guess, for the PN7 guys, to their credit, they've had to, pull in Levanchik as a mercenary at the last minute, so I can't expect they would have came in with too much of a plan beforehand.
That's right. I think AS did have a plan here. With their nation selection, it clearly looked like they had a plan, and PN7 maybe not as much. But anyway, it looks like, I think it's almost over for Orange. Good thing, actually, appreciate that Orange had a third city so that he did not die instantly.
Yeah, I mean, that is a good point. You've got to take the wins when you can. Unfortunately, that's probably the highlight over here for the time being. It's the fact that he's not dead yet. But yeah, this is...
Meanwhile, in the chat, Sert says he was banned because he played with an AI in King of Sara. Well, let me clarify, Sert, you were banned because you were toxic, not because you played with an AI or whatever else. If you had just played with good sportsmanship, you would have stayed in the league. Yeah. And others, we got Oscar. I think Connor McDavid. Yeah, Oscar is also saying, why did Quantum retreat there? Well, we all are asking that right now. And CSK Blue Wolf, hey man, Tiger, Lelouch, welcome to the stream. So right after this, it looks like the winner is going to go against I won't say undisputed, but pretty good team, PLA, KungFu.
Yeah, PLA KungFu, obviously that game we talked about earlier was a really close game, and PLA KungFu came into this tournament a little bit like a wildcard team. We didn't really know what their level of skill was and what they're capable of, but they've proven that they are very much in this tournament to potentially go as far as they can, and I think they're a real chance of not only making the round of 16, but maybe making it further. So they're going to be a tough opponent for the winner of this game, which looks like it's probably going to be AS based on how it's going.
Oh man, and so Quantum is here now, but it's just too late because Orange is no longer here. Orange's army is dead. If he had joined while Orange was here, would have been much better.
Yeah, agreed. And I mean, they really needed to push back this rush, because when you're against Despot, it's all about momentum. If you can halt their momentum, suddenly Despot can be weak, but fortunately they didn't really halt it at all. And look how strong Duzzles is now. He just has that 500 capsack army right now. It's he's pop capped out, and he's getting so much plunder too.
Yeah, damn man, that's a really good game by AS. And I'm assuming we are going to see more of these rush specific builds, nation selections, because remember that Despot, that's a double Despot with British and Turks, that had to work.
Yeah, it did feel like we actually thought, based on just the nation picks, we thought they had the upper hand. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I mean, do you have any advice, I guess, for anyone watching? If you're in a game in Nomadium and you see your opponents pick Turks and Brits and you know they're going to rush you, what do you do to stop it? What
I think one thing would be that do not build towards them. That's for sure. Try to stay as far away as possible, and have your militia ready. Attrition. I would even suggest trying to go for military level 2 and some aggression as soon as possible.
Yeah, I agree. I think
Since you don't know they're coming, and there's probably going to be a very obvious route where they're going to come from, so just have towers there.
Yeah, and also I think the other thing is scout. You need to be scouting the entire time, not only to see the rush, because the odds are the rush is coming, but to see where the rush is, see them when they put their siege down, and like you said, just spam units. Try and keep citizens close to your second city so that you can use them for militia. But yeah, there's really you've got to play almost perfectly to hold this rush if it's executed by a good team.
Yeah, you're right. I would say Quantum almost survived this rush here at Braunschweig. Not bad.
Yeah, it does look like he's holding on.
I think he will lose it, but of course if he has even a little bit of army, he would have survived this. But yeah, very nice play by PN7. And that means PN7 is out of the tournament. It's so sad to see that, but well, we have to. The game must go on. And AS is now in the finals for the qualifier, only for the qualifier, as for this time.
That is true. It's kind of like if anyone's watched that TV show Survivor, they're getting voted off the island right now, and unfortunately PN7 have just been eliminated. And I won't give away what happened in the other group in case anyone hasn't watched it, but there was another team which was played between Group B. So make sure you check that out on the videos if you haven't seen it already.
Yeah, check out. And Old Dirty was the commentator. He joined as a guest, so please do check it out. It was an interesting cast.
Yeah, Old Dirty did a great job. And it was nice to see Old Dirty on the video as well.
Oh yeah, and the interesting thing here is that Delhi, the Indian capital, has been captured by Turks and British. And the funny thing is that Indians were dominated by both Turks and British at one point.
In real life?
In real life. So in 1400s, Turks were the first one who invaded India. And later on, it was the British. So it makes complete sense.
Yeah. No, it's funny how sometimes Ron just simulates real life perfectly, and then there's other times where you see, Lakota versus Japanese, and you're like, okay.
And you know why Turks won? Can you guess which unit gave them the edge?
Ooh, I don't know. I would suggest
the siege. They had nice bombards. Yeah.
And hence, is that why Rise of Nations has?
I think that's probably why, or could be a reason why, because Turks were always known for their nice sieges.
Yeah, 3-16. Yeah, no, it does seem like okay. I'm starting to learn a bit of history as well. I like this because I wasn't actually aware that Turks and Indians, fought each other back in the medieval ages. So.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's GG for this game, and well played to the AS team. As we said, they came, they saw, they conquered, and they came in, executed that strategy really well, and I think that pretty much sums up the game. Do you have any final words on this one before we start to move into the next?
No, I think this was a fairly great gameplay by AS. I think PN7 had great opportunities. As I said, the map was in their favor, the rares were in their favor. It's just a little bad teamwork, as we saw. Quantum Floyd was asked not to join them at the last moment while they were losing, which was weird.
Yeah, true. That did kind of end up being a bit of a blunder, but anyway, they move on, and so I'm just bringing up on the screen now. So with that win by AS Phoenix, it does mean that we can now cast the next game, which we didn't know who was going to win that, but it will now be PLA KungFu versus AS. And it's all on the line here now because basically both teams have won one game, both teams have lost one game, and whoever wins this progresses to the Super 16. And do you know what happens to the team that loses?
So, luckily, we are not eliminating the loser team in this round.
That's right, and that was
we've got a wild card entry in the tournament.
Yeah, exactly right. And basically, I explained this earlier in the other stream as well, but what happened was, unfortunately, El Cartel team, which is the team made up probably the most famous players were Blast and Oleg and Bob, and I think Dragoneer might have been on there as well. Unfortunately, their team had to withdraw from the tournament for various reasons. So their spot is now up for grabs. And what that means is that whilst the loser of this upcoming game would normally be eliminated from the tournament, there is one last chance for them because essentially they will then have a final super qualifier playoff against the third place team from the other group. So that's just something to keep in mind that, whilst it's sad that El Cartel is leaving the tournament early, their place will be taken by a very happy whoever it is that finishes in third place in each group.
Yeah, and just to give the advantage of that Let Cartel's position, because Let Cartel is in a very safe position, I feel, compared to the other qualifier seeds will be. So we will be substituting one of the winner teams, one of the two first qualifying teams, directly into that cartel spots, which is a safer spot. But we'll do that by just random drawing. Is that right, Kron?
Yeah, that's correct. So I think basically it'll be completely random still. And the 5 teams that qualify, because we haven't really seeded the brackets, basically we'll have to spin the wheel again and essentially randomly seed who ends up with who. So the advantage, I guess, will be that one group will have 2 teams from the qualifiers, and in theory will be slightly easier, which is whatever group has Lat El Cartel in them at the moment.
That's right. Although I would lean towards having the there are 2 impeccable teams in 2 groups, so that have not lost a single game. I would suggest that we put one of those 2 teams in the Let Cartel's position because ideally they deserve to be there.
Actually, that's a very good point. Yeah, I agree, and that way they've got an easier path. So. That would be an easier way to seed it for sure. So I think maybe that's how we'll do it, is we'll just randomly seed the 2 group winners, like you said. One of them gets the favourable seed, and then the remaining 4 teams, essentially, it's just luck of the dice. And to be honest, there's no easy group because you're up against PN5, PL, Tough, Lat Fusion's incredibly good. So there's no easy path here, unfortunately.
Okay, then, are you ready to start with this?
All right, let's get straight into the second match here. So I'm ready to go. I'll bring up the screen right now. And all right, let's go. 3, 2, 1, start.
Go. This is Great Sahara, the map number 3. First game of map 3.
Yeah, this is the first time we've seen Sahara, and so this is obviously quite a high stakes game here, but I think Sahara is a bit of a favorite amongst a lot of viewers because it's such a open map. It allows for a lot of aggressive strategies, or you can also boom as well if you're that way inclined. And to begin with, we can see that AS have spawned at the top of the screen here. And let's have a quick look at their positioning and also their nations. It looks like Eat the Pair has gone for a quick build here, whilst it looks like Spyrodon's taking the sacrifice for the team and walking quite a long distance to get to the middle. And then...
but it all makes sense. Remember, he's Aztecs. So for him to engage in as much battle is better for him.
Yeah, very true. And I mean, obviously, as long as one of their guys from their team makes that sacrifice, walks to the middle, and basically, secures that wood, it's a huge advantage for the team in the long term to have that wood there. Because otherwise, I feel like Sahara, depending on how lucky you get, aside from the middle, it's not really any guaranteed wood. You've kind of got a fluke a big patch. Like it looks like, for example, HH here has got a decent stockpile of wood, probably 6 woodcutters there. But then, yeah, it's kind of patchy. I think most of the nations though should have a 6 cutting camp.
Yeah, I feel everybody has at least a 6 around them, so it's balanced in that way. Maybe except either pair. Either pair doesn't have a clear +6 around him.
Yeah, that looks like a 5 at best.
Yeah.
So he might have to build 2 woodcutter camps before too long. But he can use the wood in the middle, so it should work out okay for him as well.
So I want to point out that the nation lineup is about the same for AS. So I think we're going to see the exact same strategy again.
Oh, wow. Well, this is going to be fascinating because, I mean, if you looked at the last game, it's probably easy to think, wow, that rush was incredible. That was impossible to stop. Have they just broken the game by choosing Turks and Brits and just doing Despot? But, I mean, these PLA guys are no slouches. They have proven themselves to be very highly skilled. And
oh, yeah.
I think that they're either going to show us how to defend this rush or they're going to die to the rush. So
yeah, man. The only difference from the last game is first we have got 2 aggressive nations. So last time we only had Germans who were aggressive. This time we've got Iroquois and Lakota. I don't count Persians as aggressive, but I think Persians are great at defense just because of their 2 capital bonus.
We've got Iroquois and Lakota.
Yeah, I agree. And apologies for that. I just had a bit of feedback for a second. That was just your soothing voice coming on the stream. You can see that Old Cat and the PLA guys have got Pappy scouted now. And they haven't actually scouted Sugar, even though it's right on the very edge of Soul's base, which is surprising because he can almost see it just from the city itself. But he just needs to tower scout that, perhaps.
Oh yeah, man, Sugar. And if he finds it soon enough, then he will be able to get his market there and almost secure that for the whole game. So I think Lakota is way faster than Turks. And if Lakota pressures early on, then I don't think Turks have any chance in this game. So I want to say that Soul holds the key here to beating AS guys. He has the top nation. And also he has an Iroquois ally Iroquois are themselves very aggressive. So if they both work together, beating Aztecs or the Turk guy, it's not going to be hard. Especially seeing that Duzzles is cornered here.
Yeah, actually, I find it interesting that Duzzles is a bit out of position here as Turks, harder to make an impact from there. He could build his city kind of near green, but it leaves him up his caravan route to be very vulnerable. So he's probably, unless he doesn't scout Lakota and wrongfully thinks that Lakota's not there, he's probably better off just building his natural city, in a direct line of sight towards the opponents. But that kind of leaves Spyrodon a little bit vulnerable. Either pair is probably going to build to back him up, but yeah, it's just going to be a bit of a strange one. If Lakota can split up the opponents, then it's going to make it tough for the AS guys here.
Oh man, and dude, look at this. Look at that. Spyrodon just scouted Sugar, and he has just barely missed Soul's city.
Yeah, it does seem like they still haven't scouted Sugar from the PLA perspective. But yeah, you're right. How is that? It's he hasn't scouted the city, and then PLA hasn't scouted Sugar. They just need to trade information here. Surely they can they can do each other a favor, because the fact that they don't know where Lakota is makes it really tricky for them to actually properly plan what they do next.
Oh man, seriously, this I feel so bad for Sugar, and not just for Sugar. Remember this Bison, because you would expect the Lakota player to be to know everything in the map, and for Lakota player to not know what is right next to him. It's weird.
Yeah, exactly right. And I mean, yeah, food rares are such a delight to have when you're Lakota. And I mean, the fact that he's gone Lakota is interesting too, because in that second game we saw that Soul he was their best player, I believe, and he picked Japanese that game on Old World. And I would probably say a classic train of thought would be that Japanese or Turks are probably the two preferred nations on this Sahara style. Lakota obviously great on any map, but I wouldn't say that it's a specialty kind of map for Lakota. So I'm actually just a little bit surprised by that.
Oh man, and dude, check this out. Duzzles is trying to build his city next to gems, and this is a big mistake from him. He just sent a single villager.
Oh, that is a pretty big blunder. Yeah, that he's running away, trying to keep his citizen alive, but he does have a second one coming through now.
Oh yeah, there is a second one coming. I think this will complete if it's just that the PLA guys need to be very quick about this. If they can stop the city, this could go change the whole game.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a big deal to get the city up, and they're already doing a good job delaying it.
They are doing a very good job delaying it, man. That's an almost completed city. I am not sure who will get this one.
Ooh, Duzzle's doing a decent job with the micro, but he's got to be careful. I think he's just got to build it. He's so close, 92%.
Oh, yep.
Oh, yep. He's got it. Well done. But it looks like Old Cat has built his racks in a very dangerous position here. But Old Cat has picked Iroquois, so he's going to be able to get some really good raids off. But that's going to be vulnerable to getting towered once.
Yeah.
The AS guys can kind of hunker down and defend.
So good thing is that Duzzles is going for military one. His, let's see, what's the plan here? I see Spardon is putting down a barracks near his capital, so that's good.
Yeah, I think this rack should go up, even though the heavy infantry have reached it. The fact that he's got
so many villagers,
12 villagers, that's the right thing to do here. You just need to get the racks finished at all costs, because if you don't, you're in trouble. And being Aztecs, he'll be in a good position here to at least hold this off. He's getting archers as well.
Oh man, nice, very nice. Some Old Cat's rush was actually for nothing now. You know what? These guys should raid Istanbul. They should make Duzzles pay for placing his city so far away. Yeah. Without any connection.
Exactly, and that's exactly what we talked about earlier, right? He has taken a massive gamble building his city there, but he didn't know where Lakota's city was, and therefore probably wrongfully assumed that he could make a straight line path that he could defend, and now it's completely cut off. Not even close to having a connection there. I'm pretty sure his caravan would have to walk around pretty much the entire world to get there if he's going to get a connection for his gold route.
You're right, man. That seems like it's a tough situation for Duzzles. And it's good for PLA guys. They can make something happen.
Yeah, the one thing that gives me hope though is the fact that if he can just get his gold from another source such as Varese, and basically just go for a classic, he needs to get his siege out basically ASAP. He'll be able to clear this barracks and potentially this city as well. And basically he needs to capture that ASAP.
You're right, man. He needs to get clear the city of Cajun and that barracks, and he can do that. He has the right nation for this.
And the issue though too is even if he captures Cajun, he still needs to capture one of these two Lakota cities to really reinforce and actually have a supply line between his home base and his forward city, because otherwise he's in trouble. Lakota can just rush his cap. What is he going to do to defend?
You're right, man. He could lose his capital.
I'm starting to really worry here, because he's got to do two things. One, he either builds his infrastructure near Istanbul and basically lets green get doubled or loses his city, or he builds his stuff at his second city and basically gives up his cap, or maybe moves his cap to the middle. Either way, they're not good options, and just goes to show that sometimes, whilst it's good to build with your allies and try and secure extra territory, you got to make sure that where you're building your second city is actually going to work out for you in the long term.
Yeah, and these guys are targeting yellow. They're singling him out because if yellow is slowed down, then then that's all they need. If he doesn't have siege, if he doesn't have units, then it's going to be working very well for the PLA guys. Meanwhile, look at that. Spardon is also raiding Old Cat. He is going. Oh, these guys have silver, and these guys finally know about sugar. The PLA knows about sugar. Not Pappy though. I mean, not Bison though.
Not bison, yeah. So they haven't seen...
Inspired on his using bison, man. This is so sneaky.
Wow, that's very well done. And I mean, the funny thing was, Spyrodon probably thought that was within their territory, but it's well and truly out of their territory now. But yet, it's still working out well for them because obviously PLA don't know yet.
Yeah, this... Oh, man. This slightly backfired for AS, but let's not forget that there is still time. What I don't understand is why did Seoul retreat from Istanbul? There is no defense. I think he should just keep pushing there.
Yeah, I think, I mean, honestly, if I'm Seoul here, and you're playing as Lakota, who are, an ultra-fast nation at the best of times, I would just be thinking Siege Workshop and go for Istanbul ASAP. Even if he moves his capital, that's, 5-farm city, that's a wood city. The economic damage to Dazzles is going to bring him on his knees and basically set them up for a massive advantage moving into the long term if he can take that city out.
You're right, man. Seoul has towered first behind. I don't know if they know about that or not. So they have Seoul's towered a rare that AS doesn't even know about. That's so unfortunate, man.
That is, and if you look at the scouting for AS, same thing. It's just outside of their field of vision. They've scouted everywhere around it. Probably won't see that one. Probably won't see the tower either until it burns down later on once the territory takes over.
Yeah. Oh, this is so unfortunate. So unfortunate.
One thing I do like though is I will just bring your attention. You can see that Dazzles has gone for military 2 before age 2 here.
And yeah, that's right. He is going for that. I hope he he is moving his cap to the city of Izmit. So that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Dude, Seoul's heavy infantry is sitting right next to Bison. And they just fail to see that traitor, that the intruder who's eating their bisons.
Yeah, wow. Just have to walk over and stick a few spears into it and it won't be happening much longer. But, wow, yeah, he continues to survive. Good thing Spyrodon put his merchant on the top side of that rare, not the bottom side.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I feel very bad. Again, I wish Seoul continued to raid Dazzles because that city of Istanbul still does not have any unit. He could at least deny the whole woodcutter camp.
Yeah, it looks like Dazzles has pretty much given up on defending Istanbul, but the PLA guys have no interest in denying him use of the city. You can see that Dazzles basically has made the right call here, I think, and just focused his strategy on, quickly just being aggressive, trying to take these cities out, and allowing Istanbul to fall eventually when it does.
Oh man, this is a close one. This is a close one.
Really nice.
Even after all these blunders and misfortune for AS, they're still doing fine, man. And it looks like Eat the Pair will be helping in a triple.
Yeah, this could work out really well. If they can get an effective triple off here with the power of Turks, it's like we talked about before. It's still pretty hard to stop. The one thing I like about PLA though is you can just tell that Seoul is a very experienced player. I hadn't seen him play much before, but he must play a lot on the Chinese servers. He's got a great eco as Lakota, and he's starting to get a really nice army out at the moment. 120 metal income, 150 of food and wood, so I think the other players are pretty jealous of that, but they do need to hold here, and he's got one tower up, another tower going up for both blue and red. So do they have enough to hold here? It looks like the triple is about to go in. So, and how is purple going to react too?
Oh yeah, it's tough, man. And keeping in mind that this is a triple, this is not even a double. So for that, I feel like red and blue are there holding very much, very well. And this is what I was talking about. This combo of Iroquois and Lakota, that's a very strong combo.
Yeah, it is.
And Dazzles might be losing his siege to some cavalry if he doesn't pay attention soon.
Yeah, very true. His cavalry is a bit out of position here, and PLA guys have taken full advantage of it, taking out all those siege. Oh my god, that is a massive blow to the
That
AS's
is.
attack.
And again, this was a triple. This was a triple, and still, Soul and Old Cat were able to hold this. What a game, man!
Yeah,
So this is actually the same game as last game. It's just what happens when you play your nations right.
yeah, absolutely. This just shows that, you know, in the hands of a good player, any team can win. And any team can stop this rush too. I mean, that was a supercharged rush, and it was still dealt with perfectly by PLA. They just taught us how to stop this. Basically, try and snipe the siege. You know, eco up well, raid in the early game, and just try and punish them when they go for it.
Man, what a really nice one there. Really nice one. These guys. So, Duzzles has got another 2 sieges. Should help. Let's see. Old Cat doesn't have much units now, and same for Soul. So these guys are slightly on the edge, and they need Purple to act. Oh, Purple is actually going for the city of Tenochtitlan. I never know how to pronounce the Aztec capital.
Yeah, I'm not really sure either. I'd say Tenochtitlan, I guess, but.
So he is forcing Spartadon to come back. That's a very good one. Yeah. Anything that HH can do to just get them. How do you say that? Just get Eat the Beard's attention or keep Spartadon busy. It's a boon for Soul and HH.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're pinning their strategy on pretty much making a breakthrough here, and by forcing, you know, Eat the Pair back, and some good raids here as well by Soul on Istanbul. Finally, better late than never.
Oh man.
Yeah. It does look like some heavy infantry coming through from Seoul too. It looks like he might start just attacking Istanbul straight up, or not sure if he's just planning to raid, but he could probably take that city out just by right-clicking on it.
Yeah, and look at that. On the other side, all the sieges have been destroyed. All the sieges. What a light cavalry! That's a pretty good light cavalry.
Yeah, that was really good. I mean, light cavalry are designed for that exact purpose, to, you know, snipe siege when the opponent's not looking. And I think what I like there is that he put his army in, basically drew fire, and then sent the horses in to snipe those.
Yeah, and this is the perfect use of Iroquois, because their cavalry are hidden. I mean, their all units are hidden, so you don't even know. And meanwhile. So I think the plan is for the Iroquois player Old Cat to just continue defending while Lakota is transitioning to Istanbul. Yeah. Oh man, what a game!
Very well played, and yeah, fascinating game the way this is played out. It looks like Spartadon will push back HH here, so Spartadon playing quite well with Despot, but I think economically. He actually needs to make something happen too, because HH is only going to get stronger and stronger the longer this game goes on. You're right,
and another issue is that
Istanbul has gone down as well. Istanbul has fallen.
And there goes Duzzles. Duzzles, and if they don't capture the city of Cajun, I think that's game over.
Yeah, let's have a look at Duzzles' eco right now. I'd be surprised if it's more than about 30. Okay, no, he has got 50, 60, 80. So, yeah, not looking great, but I guess he's still got some life in him yet. They just need to go for the all-in, perhaps on this maybe Iroquois capital, if they can. It looks like they are.
Yeah, it looks like they are making a move.
And I like that. They need to make something happen because they know that Duzzles is hurting, and long term, there's no way they're going to be able to come back and, you know, try and win a boom game here.
Oh, and we got Zen in the chat. He says, "Who needs a member for 1 or 2 game?" Man, it's not how it works. But if anybody is missing a player of similar caliber as yours, and it's absolutely required, yeah, you may be able to play.
And I mean, one thing we have is the free agent register, and I guess we haven't really talked about this in great detail, but the plan was. The plan originally was that up until when the round of 16 starts, players can still make late changes to their roster as long as you know, it's not anything too wild. So, is that something that we can extend to Zen, or what's your thoughts?
I think we can extend to Zen, so Zen can go in the description and register for the free agents. Oh, meanwhile, look at that! the Lakota player is not sitting idle. He's going for London. This is a great play by Lakota, man. I am very impressed by Soul's game.
Yeah, Soul is playing excellent.
Spiridon is still using Bison, by the way.
Yeah, Spiridon's still making good use of that Bison. I like this move by AS, but the issue is Soul is trumping them with his own move, and once Eat the Pair loses this cap, which I can't see how he's going to stop that.
Oh no, he's not going to stop that. The only thing is that it's worse to lose your capital or any city to Lakota because all your farms get deleted instantly. So even if you get it back, it's almost game over.
Yeah, exactly right, and that is devastating.
Oh man, and only if Duddles had more sieges, the city of Onondaga would have gone down easily. And I have to say, man, Old Cat is defending against 2, and he's doing a great job.
Yeah, really good job there. Oh, you can see that the capital has gone down now for Eat the Pair. Soul just got stronger and stronger, so if he wasn't already playing out of his socks, he's got another 500 res of everything. So.
Oh man, that is epic. That is great. So that's 1 cap down. And Old Cat is going to survive. He's not going to lose his cap either.
Yeah, Old Cat. Old Cat has defended very well here, and yeah, if that wasn't already the nail in the coffin of getting that cap sack, I mean the fact that Old Cat has defended pretty much has sealed this game by the looks of it for PLA. But that was a wild game so far. We'll see how it plays out in these final moments, but I just think the PLA momentum is just way too strong here.
I think everybody in AS is bruised except Spiridon. Spiridon is the only player who did not lose a capital or city yet. But I still don't know how much Aztecs can do at this point without... it's not looking very good for the Aztec player.
No, it's not. And I mean, he has gone for Despot, so long term, he definitely won't be able to keep up with, the Lakota player.
Actually, Aztecs can. Aztecs are one nation that can, but they just need a huge army so that they never lose their momentum.
Actually, that's a good point. Yeah, and I mean, how is his army going so far? It's not too bad, but it's definitely not that big.
Oh yeah.
Partially due to losing so many units to, I guess, these couple of armies.
Mm-hmm.
In that big attempt on taking out Old Cat's capital. So yeah, it's not looking great. Not looking great to say the least. Look at this army from Seoul. My gosh, that's a massive...
That's huge. So Seoul is going to capture everybody's city. I think there's going to be 2 capital if he goes for Titlan.
And he's about to get Colossus. Colossus is 99% done. Colossus has finished now, so this army is only going to get bigger.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So good thing that's Spiridon. So on this team, this is AS, and what's the team in Group B?
So
who have a chance?
Yeah. So basically, you need to watch the other stream to see the results so far, but we don't actually know yet. Because we're still waiting on certain games to be played. But the teams that are remaining in that group, it could be any of them. Basically, it comes down to 3 LAT teams. So we got LAT Colombia, LAT Euro, LAT Raiders, and then Team Gay.
Okay, so one of those teams that we're not reveal. Oh, actually, we can reveal the results now, right? We are done with this group.
Yeah. So this group is finished. So that was the final game, and congratulations to our latest Super 16 qualifiers.
Yeah, PLA. So PLA versus. So you guys actually played against the other qualifier and other team who is qualifying here, man. Nice.
Yeah,
I'm very excited to see PLA play against PLA in case they fall in our bracket. It'll be a very interesting fight.
Yeah, I think this PLA team has shown that there'll be a few people in the round of 16 watching this and getting a bit nervous that if they get drawn with PLA, probably not the most favourable draw. I think they've shown that they clearly have the chops to win against any team, especially with Soul. I mean, this Soul guy, And Old Cat too. I think Sol and Old Cat are really impressing me.
All of these guys. You remember last game, Seoul was the underperforming player. He was Nubians against AZ, and I think a lot of players blamed him for not doing as much as possible. But this game, he has clearly shown that he knows how to play Lakota.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of scary. It's kind of like when the robots figure out how to use Lakota. Then suddenly, I mean, I don't know what Sol's going to pick, but I suspect he's probably going to pick Lakota or Japs in their games coming up. But the thing is too, is we've only seen best of one so far, and the interesting thing about the next round is the fact that it's best of threes, and also the same player can't play tier 1 multiple times in a row. It's going to mean that other players like Old Cat and so on are going to have to step up as Japs or Lakota or Turks or whatever nation they might go with. So it's going to be cool, but Sol's not going to...
Oh, hold on. So against AZ, I think it was HH who was Nubians, not Sol. I'm getting confused now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Sol played as Japs because he was up against
Oh,
me.
so he thought he was doing pretty good in that game as well. So okay, I'll take that back. Yeah, Sol so far has shown great promise. So has Old Cat. And Wolf was great. HS was slightly underwhelming in the last game, but this game he clearly showed that he knows how to help his teammates. He was continuously badgering both Eat the Peer and Spiridon when he knew he couldn't directly help.
Yeah, I think his badgering skills were absolutely they were actually very good, and he was playing as Persians too. So Persians being tier 3 on paper anyway, the weaker nations out of the team. So no, he did a good job, and I think that's a team that doesn't really have an obvious weakness. And I know that HH didn't do so good in the AZ game, but he was up against a really good player in Language of Trees, so can't really blame him for what happened there.
Anyway, so I think that's the end of the cast. Do you want to play one?
At
the end?
I would love to, but I can't. I've got to run, unfortunately, because I've got work early tomorrow morning. So I might leave the cast running just for a little bit with maybe the Be Right Back music, just to avoid any spoilers. But otherwise I'd be keen to play. But we've got some good viewers. Yeah. We've got 19 viewers at the moment. So to all 19 of you out there, thank you for tuning in, watching this this qualifier cast. We're pretty much nearly finished with the qualifiers now. There's not many left. I mean, who do we have left? We've got... basically
so I think now we can reveal the winners of the last game, and if anybody has not watched the last game and are still looking forward to watching that, there's spoilers coming.
So guys, turn off the stream right now if you don't want to find out who was successful or what the status is of group number 2, but you can see on the screen right now. Look away if you don't want to spoil it. The results from earlier were Lat Columbi lost the lower bracket game against Team Gay. So Gay... Oh,
so Lat Columbi is out of the tournament.
So Lat Columbi are out. Unfortunately, they do not have a path through to the round of 16 anymore. And then finally, Lat Raiders put up a really strong performance against Eurolat, which is the team of Connor McDavid. And especially Snickow played really, really well. But definitely check those games out if you haven't already. Just cast earlier today, so they're up on the channel. So basically, the only games we've got left for the qualifiers now will be, it'll be Lat Euro versus Team Gay. And then whoever wins that match will advance to the Super 16. Finally, the consolation Super qualifier will be between the loser of that game. So it'll be either Team Gay or Euro Lat. Even if they don't win, they'll have one last chance where they'll have a consolation Super qualifier against Team AS for the final spot in the Super 16. So I can't wait to find out the results of those two final games. And then we'll finally be ready to kick off the proper, exciting Super 16 part of the tournament. I can't wait. What's your thoughts?
Man, I am actually very thrilled to start. I hope we can start the Super 16 next weekend, and that'll be great. We just have last two set of games pending. And by the way, for the this wild card game, I think we should just keep it Sahara as map number 3. What do you say? Instead of drawing all over again.
Oh, actually, we actually did a live draw on the...
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, so that's already actually been put out there. So It was completely.
So what was the map?
The final map will be on Great Lakes.
Okay, so I think that's a good enough map to be worthy of the finals.
I think it'll be interesting because I mean it's going to be AS who are kind of like I think they've got a good booming style if they wanted to. They obviously did rushing strategies in these games, but AS versus either Eurolat or Team Gay. So yeah, we haven't really seen Great Lakes yet. I don't believe so. Aside from show matches, so yeah, it's going to be something different, and yeah, that'll be the final map. And we will also have to draw the maps for the Super 16 soon as well. So I think that'll be a cast coming up once we've perhaps done the final qualifiers. We can then set the maps. It'll all be updated in tournament as well. So during the actual proper tournament, if you're ever not sure what map to play on, just go in and check your actual matches because we'll have commentary there saying it'll be on Sahara, it'll be on Great Lakes, it'll be on Old World, whatever it might be. Once we've done that draw.
That's right. So yeah, I think that'll be it. Thanks a lot, man, for casting this today with me.
Yeah, not a problem. I appreciate you joining us. Thanks again, everyone, for watching. Make sure you stay tuned. Anyone that hasn't played their matches yet, Team Gay, Eurolat, I'm looking at you guys. Please do whatever you can to play your matches ASAP. We don't want the qualifiers to go any longer than they have to. And guys, start getting pumped up. Super 16 is coming your way very soon. And we will talk soon. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. See you.
See ya.